Hello and welcome. If you've ever built an application, you've hit that point, that moment of panic where you wonder, what do I do with all the passwords, the connection strings, the API keys, the crown jewels of your app? Well, today, we're going to crack open that digital safe and take a look at how to secure them the right way with Azure Key Vault.
So let's just be honest for a second. Think about whatever project you're working on right now. Where are those critical secrets? Are they tucked away in some config file, maybe an environment variable? Or are they somewhere a little more, out in the open? And this is the #1 security anti-pattern we see all the time. Hard coding secrets directly into your application. It's such a tempting shortcut, I totally get it, but it's incredibly dangerous. The second your source code gets exposed, and believe me, it happens a lot more than you'd think, so do all of your secrets. This is the fundamental problem we absolutely have to solve.
So what's the solution? Well, this is where Azure Key Vault comes in. The easiest way to think about it is like your own personal, super high security digital safety deposit box, just built for the cloud. It's a service that was designed from the ground up to fix this exact problem. So what is it really? Well, Azure Key Vault is a cloud service for securely storing and accessing secrets. Now, secret is just a catch-all term for anything you want to control access to really tightly. But the most important part is right there at the end. It gets all that sensitive data out of your application's code and into one central fortified place.
Okay, so how does this digital fortress actually work? To really get it, we need to look at the 3 main pieces that make the whole thing tick. So let's take a peek inside. First up, you've got the vault itself. This is the container, the secure box. When you create a key vault in Azure, you're basically building this fortified structure that's managed and guarded 24/7 by all of Azure's infrastructure. Next up, we have the secrets. These are the valuables you're actually putting inside your safety deposit box. A secret can be anything really, a database connection string, a third-party API key, basically any piece of text you need to lock down. And finally, and this might just be the most important part of the whole puzzle, you have the security principle. So if the vault is the box and the secrets are the valuables inside, the security principle is the only one authorized to open it. It's a unique identity that Azure gives to your application, and then you grant it very specific permissions like get or list. This is how we control who gets access to what. But wait, this brings up a really important, almost paradoxical question, right? If we've moved our secrets out of the code to avoid storing a password there, then how does our application prove it's who it says it is to get those secrets back from Key Vault?
It feels like a classic chicken and egg problem, doesn't it? To get a secret, you need to authenticate. But to authenticate, don't you usually need another secret? Well, luckily, Azure has a really elegant solution for this. And here's the magic. This is the solution to our chicken and egg problem. Now, you could use a traditional service principal with a certificate or even another secret, but look at the recommendation. That's not the way to go. Why? Because you're just kicking the can down the road. Now you have to secure that new credential. The real best practice, the absolute game changer, is using managed identities. With a managed identity, Azure gives your app its own identity right inside the ecosystem. Azure handles the credential rotation, the security, everything, completely behind the scenes. And that means 0 credentials in your code. At all. Problem solved. So, we know what it is and we know how it works. But let's get down to it. Why does this really matter? The payoff is huge, and to see just how big, let's look at this from the perspective of 2 really important people on any team, the developer who's building the thing and the chief security officer who's trying to keep it safe. This quote from a developer just hits the nail on the head. They're thinking about building modern apps, distributed all over the place. They need to get to keys and secrets, but they want them totally separate from the application itself. They want flexibility and security, without having to become a cryptography expert. And Key Vault delivers exactly that for them. First, keys are stored centrally, and you just call them with a simple URI, no complex logic. They're protected by industry-standard hardware security modules, which are basically tamper-proof physical devices. And since it's all in the same Azure data center, access is lightning fast. It just makes a developer's life so much easier. Now let's switch hats and think like a chief security officer. The CSO has a totally different set of worries. They're thinking about compliance, auditing, control. They need a guarantee that the whole organization is secure, and they need a complete audit trail of who is using what and when. For a CSO, Key Vault is a dream come true. It uses FIPS 140 validated hardware, which is a huge deal for government security standards. It's designed so that not even Microsoft can see or pull out your keys.
Every single thing that happens is logged for auditing, giving you that critical visibility. And maybe best of all, it gives them a single place to manage and monitor all the secrets across the entire company, getting rid of those dangerous security silos.
So, here's the real takeaway. In modern software development, centralizing and securing your app's secrets isn't just a nice to have. It's absolutely non-negotiable. Which brings us right back to where we started. Your application secrets are its most valuable asset. So the question you need to ask yourself is, are you positive they're properly secured?